Welcome back to another episode of Exploring Whiskeys. Again, I'm Eric.
And I'm Kevin. And this is another Wheeler's Raid. But this is, again, one of their special releases. So this is the Toasted Honey Rye, number 14. I believe this is the highest number they currently have released at this moment. We've already done their toasted regular bourbon, and we've already done their toasted honey bourbon. This is same idea, but it's their rye. So they source everything from MGP.
Yep.
So this is the regular MGP 95.5. I will say their regular proof rye was 95.5 MGP. Wasn't a huge change. Oddly, the toasted one was really good. Yep. There's a lot of, like, once they get to do more to it, I think they...
But that's what they're known for. They openly admit
they're finishing.
They're finishing. Yeah, it's local here. It's just about 2-3 miles down the road in Nolensville, Tennessee. Small little place, nice little bar. Yeah. Little stage for the weekends. Bringing some bands.
They do a lot of music now, actually. Brand new bottle open. Little thumbs up. We'd really appreciate that. And
they're changing their...
Yeah, they changed their bottles.
They're changing their bottles.
Oh, that didn't work. Synthetic cork. Ugh.
There you go.
That was a little better. Still synthetic cork.
Yeah, their original bottle definitely stood out.
Yeah, they had a nice square shape to them. It was just something that was totally different. Then they switched over to this because they were having supply issues. And now
there's a different bottle,
yeah,
a different
whole
label.
Different one. So they don't do, let's say, like Bellmead. Bellmead is really known for its honey. They're actually using barrels that had honey in it. They have a process where they like put honey in it and do like a spin process, but it's not like they don't store. They're not honey barrels.
But they also, it's almost like another little char to.
Yeah, they toast it. They go through. This is a second barrel, and they because it's regular barreled rye, and then they toast the barrel, and then they kind of put honey in it, and they have like this process where they spin the barrel to kind of spread the honey out and get the honey to go into the barrel just a little bit, and then they put the rye in. That is herbally.
Well, the thing with them, though, these limited releases, it's pretty limited.
Yes.
If you're not there, and everything, they do a good job of publicizing it on social media at the distillery, but yeah, usually it's pretty limited. You got to be there when they open up.
The day they released their honey bourbon, the toasted bourbon, and this rye, and I believe they had 80 of one and 40 of the other two, or something along those lines. It's very, very limited releases, and you have to go. So you got to live near here, and we had to go to the distillery or the whiskey shop, their bar.
Yeah, the bar.
To pick up their 3 bottles. Conveniently, they had all 3 by the time I got there, so I was quite happy to get all 3. That is a lot of herbal notes. Little floral.
I get a little bit of the mint.
Yeah, there's that herbal mint note. It's not overly dilled, which a lot of MGP 95.5 comes off as really strong dill. I don't get that quite as much.
Oof, that honey. It's a smooth finish. Like you pick the spice up in the beginning, on the tongue, sides of the tongue.
Yeah,
but then there's another. Now the aftertaste, I get that rye spice note comes back.
That's really nice on the finish. There's a lot of rye spice notes. So you said on the sides of the tongue. That's funny because it went straight down the middle of the line. And the toast is really strong too. Got a lot of toasted notes, toasted vanillas and things like that. Really strong in that. And then the sweetness. Oh, I got a little clove.
Okay.
Towards the end, I'm getting a little clove now.
I like for theirs with the honey. It's not just
super sweet.
hits you. Like the Bell Mead is really, really good, but it is so honey sweet. Like it.
That's the primary note.
Yeah.
No, and talking to two of the distillers were actually behind the bar giving the bottles out. Chit-chatting with them, that's really that's how they want to do it. The honey should be an additional note.
Okay.
Not the primary note. Totally agree. It is not the primary note. It is an additional note, and it really kind of ginger snap cookies. Like that spicy but sweet.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how to put words to this. There is herbal spiciness with like
a really spicy ginger beer.
Yeah, that'll work too.
Really spicy one.
Yeah, but which is still really sweet. There's so many different layers to that. There's heat. Oh, yeah. It's also 112.6.
But it doesn't drink like that.
It's not harsh, but boy, do I have a nice chest warmth.
Yeah, but
I
you're
got a really nice
over
chest
100
warmth.
like that, especially on a rye. Like you're gonna feel that burn.
Usually it burns the back of your throat.
I don't get that.
No, the honey's coating the throat as it goes down, like medicine.
This is a good bottle. Really good.
5 year, 1 month. Still don't understand why they have this obsession with the 1 month thing, because this is now like all 3 bottles I think were 5 years and 1 month.
Well, the whole honey thing now, like you're seeing them pop up.
Yeah, more people are doing it. I think finishing is just going to become more of a thing. Again, it's the time of experimentation. Too many people can do the same thing, especially when you're dealing with just MGP.
Yeah, when
Everyone has 95.5.
Let them do that.
Yeah,
and all you're doing
you
is
distill it.
They let them distill it, and you just.
I'm going to barrel it differently. I'm going to finish it with something. I'm going to do something different to stand out, and that's what they do.
Again, we said it before. It seemed to be frowned upon years ago. Now it's.
Yeah.
Nobody cares.
Baking spices came up a lot.
The rye note kind of disappears.
Yeah, I get just a lot of baking notes, baking spices. Still a little herbal mint, but it went.
The water opens that rye note up.
It got more spiced.
Yeah.
I was going to say that the nose went from that herbal mint to more of the herbal, the rye spice side of rye.
So now, like that, for me, is flipped. Like you get that rye spice, the heat, then it finishes sweet. And now I feel the burn down here, where before it was, I got that rye bite on the back.
With the chest hug.
Yeah.
Like, there's like, it comes.
Tennessee trickle.
Oh man, it just rolls down the chest and just warms you up. It's a nice little hug. Mm-hmm. But it's nothing about it's still harsh. Mm-mm. I never get a harsh burn. I never get.
It flips.
Yeah.
I get the rye before I get the sweet.
I can't tell what's. Again, I can't really say which one's better. It's just different.
I like both. I think
it's going to sound weird.
Kind of like this with the water because I feel the proof of it. I feel like I'm drinking something that's almost 113 proof.
Okay.
Before is like I feel like the proof was kind of hidden.
The honey kind of muted it off a little bit, but the mint and the herbs are still there, but the spice comes through a little bit stronger. I agree. It's better, a little bit better with the water. It's more interesting than the honey bourbon. Like there's more variance to it. There's a couple different flavors to it. The honey bourbon was just kind of, honestly, it was just like rye forward bourbon with a little bit of honey sweetness. That was fine. This is really interesting. I mean, the profile of the bourbon's still probably a profile I would prefer over the rye, just because I prefer bourbons to rye.
Right.
But this is more complex. It's more interesting of a whiskey.
Mm-hmm. I just wish it was more readily available.
Yeah, like I said, like 40 to 80 bottles.
That is the only thing I have is their limited releases. You lucked out. Like the one that release there was like 80.
Yeah.
Normally it's like 40.
Yeah. The first time they did I think it was the honey bourbon release, they released, I don't know how many they released, honestly, but they opened their doors at noon. I left my house at 12:30 and they were sold out. before I even got to the
Well, see,
distillery.
they're smart now. Before this, they would put it in liquor stores.
Right.
Now all the limited releases, it's sold at the distillery.
Well, that just makes sense. Like, you take the profit versus sharing the profit with a third party when you know you're only got like 80 bottles. Like, what's the point? And they're not a huge distribution.
For us, we want that because it's right down the road.
No, totally. But they're not a big distribution anyway. Now that's going to be interesting. Now
now they're in Georgia.
They are fully in Georgia. Fully in Georgia. They just announced that like 2 weeks ago. They are fully in Georgia. So are some of these limited releases going to be released there?
Well, they'll have to help grow their brand down there. So that's what I'm saying. They need to ramp up the production so they can keep what normally is here, if not more, and then just
don't
allocate it down there.
How do you expand? Like, that building's not big.
Oh, they'll end up
They're going to have to move.
Oh, what they should have done is they should have taken over that back half of the brewery, Mill Creek.
Yes, they really should have.
That would triple.
That would
triple
huge.
their.
Yeah, that's huge storage area.
Or they're just going to have an off-site place.
Yeah, they could have another one.
Kind of like Greenbrier and like Corsair.
The heat in the chest after the drink is so. Wow, this is a great winter drink. On a cold night, and it's not necessarily that cold tonight, so it's. I just now feel warm, but on a cold night, that's going to be a really nice drink.
Yeah, they did a good job.
That's a very solid bottle. I do think this is the first time they released the honey rye. They released the honey bourbon once or twice before.
Yep.
I think this is the first time they did the honey
I think
rye.
there's 2 releases this year of that. Because the first one they actually did in liquor stores, and I tried to call the one down the street from here, and to your point earlier, it was gone. They said within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So this was 14. This is
14.
the latest release.
This is the highest number they have at this moment.
So curious to see one. I would imagine this one will come out
Probably quarterly or twice a year or something like that. And that's going to be my guess.
Curious to see what number 15.
I don't know where else you go. I don't know.
There's sherry finishes.
They could go more Scotch
Rum
versions. Yeah.
They could do the snowflake version.
Yes. A little bit of everything.
So, well, kudos to you guys. You're definitely onto something with the finishing.
Yep.
Definitely enjoy stopping in and having a couple of pours there. And
it's a great little
it's
spot.
awesome when the guys that are really involved with the distillery pop in and kind of
chit chat with people.
Chit chat, pull some stuff out of their sample bag and hang out. I mean, they're doing a good job of growing their brand.
Yep.
So obviously we've got other numbers to track down and kind of fill in.
Yeah, I think we still got like 4 or 5 numbers to kind of fill the middle.
We'll track those down. Hopefully we'll get into those next year.
Yep, so, we will.
Well, definitely a tasty pour.
Absolutely.
Tasty pour.
Yeah, that's real good.
Hopefully you enjoyed the review. Again, if you can track this down or see us somewhere, at least get a pour. It's definitely worth getting a pour of.
Absolutely.
So well, we hope you enjoyed the review. If you did, as always, we encourage you to hit that like button at the bottom of the screen.
And if you're new to the channel, subscribe. Love to have you join so you can hit that bell icon and we'll be notified every time we put out a new episode for every new whiskey that we find.
Well, thanks for watching.
See you on the next episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.